Hey Miss Duncan's class, welcome to Chapter 2 review. This is the review for your test that you're going to be taking on Wednesday. So I'm going to go over questions that are similar to those that you will be asked on the test. Remember, this is what I do before every test, and it's always very helpful. So be sure to pay attention, and if you're watching this at home, I'd love if you had a pencil and a piece of paper out so you can follow along with me. So the first question that I'm going to ask is going to be about this chart. This is a tally table. A tally table. I know it's a tally table because there's tallies and it's in a table, right? So it just makes sense. Those two go together. Tallies and it's in a table. So here it's talking about animals at the zoo. And I have the name and the amount of tallies. The animals are elephant, lion, monkey, and cheetah. Now remember, when you see something like this, where it's 4 and then a bundle across, that's 5. So you shouldn't even have to take the time to individually count these. You should just know that that's 5, 10, 11, 12. There's 5 there, there's 5 there. This one doesn't have that cross on it, so it's not 5. So in this case, you would have to count this. But remember, if it's a bundle, it's 5. So the first question I might ask you is it true or false? Think about it. Tell me, is it true or false? Miss Duncan saw twice as many twice as many lions as cheetahs. Is that true or false? Miss Duncan saw twice as many lions as cheetahs. If you're at home, you're probably remembering and realizing what you should do is go ahead and count up the amount. Elephant, 1, 2, 3, 4. Lion, 5, 10, 11, 12. Monkey, 5, 6, 7, 8. Cheetah, 5, 6. So those are my numbers. Now that I know my numbers, it's so much easier to compare. So if I were to say, true or false, Miss Duncan saw twice as many lions as cheetahs, I could think about it as a tape measure. I'm sorry, a tape diagram, not a tape measure, a tape diagram. So here's my 12 on the top. What would be half of 12? 6 goes here and 6 goes here. Or I could draw out 12 dots. In 2 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 in each row. So half of 12 is 6. So that one would be true. There were twice as many lions as cheetahs. Miss Duncan saw 8 monkeys. You'd find monkey on the tally chart. 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, she sure did. Miss Duncan saw 4 fewer elephants than cheetahs. 4 fewer elephants than cheetahs. So what's that saying is I saw 4 fewer elephants than I saw cheetahs. So cheetah minus 4 equals elephant. Let's plug our numbers in. Cheetahs have 6. 6 minus 4 equals, an elephant is 4. Does that make sense? 6 minus 4 equals 4. And 6 minus 4 equals 2. Or 6 minus 2 equals 4. So that can't be right. So in that section, we're taking the animals at the zoo tally chart and we are answering questions by looking at the data that's been gathered for us. The next part says it has a different chart. All right, take a look at the new chart we're looking at. So this is a frequency table. Miss Duncan asked 25 students in her class how close they lived to school. The frequency table shows the results. So remember, I asked 25 students. Now I have a blank here. So number 1 to this says, complete the table and explain how you found the answer. So I'm looking for how many girls, remember I'm looking down and over, how many girls walk about or live about 2 miles from school. So if I know that there's 25 total students, I can use subtraction. So I'm going to take my starting number, 25 students, and subtract the ones I've already gotten data on. 3 plus 2 is 5, so I'm going to subtract 5, and I'm at 20. 20 minus 4 gives me 16, and 16 minus 9, 4 plus 5 is 9, gives me 7. So in my blank, I would have 7. That was my missing part. So I need to write the 7 in my chart. And I also need to do the second part. It says complete the table. So I completed the table there. And it says explain how you found the answers. So what I did was I took the total number of students and I subtracted those students who had already been surveyed. The next part wants me to show how many more students live about 2 miles or less from school than students who live about 3 miles from school. So I'm going to add these together, and then I'm going to compare it with these. So I have 3 plus 2 equals 5, plus 4 plus 7 is 11, which gives me 16. Down here, 4 plus 5 is 9. Now I need to compare these numbers, 16 and 9. It's asking me how many more. So I need to see how many more. What is the difference between these two numbers? So I'm going to subtract. 16 minus 9 equals 7. I know that because if I do it like this, 6 won't work. I lose my 0 there. 16 minus 9. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16, I subtract 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and I'm left with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I know that 7 more students live about 2 miles or less from school than students who live about 3 miles from school. So here we have number of pies sold. This is a picture graph or a pictograph. Both words have the same meaning. So you know in a picture graph, the key is so important. So my key says each star equals 5 pies. So Tashara, Denai, and Alex were selling pies. So let's see. How many pies were sold all together? All together. That means we need to add all of this together. What I would recommend, I know that the key is each star equals 5 pies. So I'm going to count all of them. Skip counting by 5s. It'll start sounding like this. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, right? And you're going to keep going. And if you explain how did you find your answer, you skip counted by 5s, right? You don't have to think of a different idea. Tell me how did you really do it, right? So the explanation on problems shouldn't be harder for you. You just have to, put what you did into words. And that's okay if it sounds like I skip counted by 5s, because I know what that means. The next part, choose the name from each box that makes the sentence true. 5 fewer pies were sold by blank. Who sold 5 fewer pies than someone else? I know it's not Tashara because she has the most. Now Alex, he has more than 5 fewer than Tashara, but Alex has only 5 fewer than Denaya. So 5 fewer pies were sold by Denia than Alex. How many more tickets were sold by Tashara than Alex? How many more tickets? So you need to find the difference between Tashara's amount of pies sold and Alex's number of pies sold. What if Denia sold 20 more pies? Draw a picture to show how the graph would change. 20 more pies. That would look like this. 5, 10, 15, 20. I added 20 more pies with 4 stars. That's where we're going to stop today with our review. This should be enough for y'all to go on for now. Look at this, dive into this. Make sure you understand the concepts in this, and if you do not, please come to me with questions. Thank you.